If you wanna be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife.
I'm so happy to announce this. Today, this morning, was the first good morning I had. It didn't start out good. What happened was I woke up. No, I went to bed at like 10. Because when you're going through this withdrawal stuff, once it hits 9:30, you start justifying every which way you can take sleeping pills. And here's the thing is I take 3 different things because I'm a neurotic person who doesn't understand that maybe just taking like a milligram of melatonin is good enough. I have this mouth spray. Do 4 of those. I take a melatonin and I take an antihistamine, but I ran out of that antihistamine, so I took Benadryl. Anyway, fall asleep. Don't remember falling asleep. And I woke up, and you always know what time it is the moment you wake up. I woke up and I said, it's going to be 3:30. Of course, I can't find my phone. I'm patting around for it. So I open up my computer. 3:30 exactly. So that's what? That's like 5 hours. But, and I was not feeling in good spirits. But, a couple hours later, I took an hour nap. And then a couple hours after that, I took another hour nap. And that's when your brain starts to reward you. It starts to go, hey, 1, you're a boss. 2, here's some like extra sleep. And you worship that extra sleep. But not only that, when I woke up from the naps, I felt like replenished. And I still don't feel perfect. My nose is still always running. I'm yawning. Still, my spit is still sticky. I don't know when that's going to go away. But I drove to the store. And on the way back, I just realized for about 10 minutes, I was like thinking of things that were making me laugh. And I realized, I'm like, holy crap, for 10 minutes, I like walked at a fast pace. I was distracted. And I felt like that was the first 10 minutes of this whole month where I felt normal and okay. And here's another thing, is I woke up in a good enough spirit to like work slightly. I just started taking notes on a thing I'm gonna do soon. It sucked. It sucked. I was doing research and watching this really dry video. And I was just like, all right, Brandon, this is what you gotta do. You gotta retrain yourself to do all this stuff sober. Also, I don't know if I ever mentioned this in a previous video, but this house that I'm in, there's like, I swear there's cracks in the walls. So, if it's like a hot, swampy day outside, it will feel hot and swampy in here. And I think there's like a wet towel somewhere. I can't find it. It smells like mildew. It's fucking disgusting. My whole room. It smells like cigarettes and fucking a mildewy towel I haven't been able to find for no joke, like 6 years. Alright, I forgot what I was talking about. But let me talk about one thing that I think is important. So, I kind of went back and watched some of these videos from this whole month. And one very clear thing I noticed was my face in a lot of the videos looks kind of dopey. And my jawbone looks loose. And it's usually, if you go back and look, it's every 3 videos. If I do one every day, it would be every 3rd one. Because this maybe is not smart to do, but it's the only way that I can do it right now. Is that, you know, to go through a long just thing with no breaks in it, you're miserable. What I've been doing is I would take like 600 milligrams of gabapentin every 72 hours. And I would call that like a rest period. Now, here's the thing, is I don't know if taking that every 3 days, just, at the beginning, it was like, oh, I'll take a few throughout the days, dispersed. But then it turned into, like, the past 2 weeks, I've just taken 2 of them, 2 little ones. And on those nights, I would sleep like a freaking baby. I would sleep like 11 hours, and I'd feel super rejuvenated. But I gave them to somebody, and I actually have to go get them every 3 days. Well, the person lost them, and I believed them. I didn't think they were like, they took them or anything. And I was like, okay, well, I can deal with that. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't need them. And then 2 nights ago, I was like laying down, and I was like, God damn, I can hear like ringing in my ears. Just like it sounded like there was like a modem somewhere. Beep, 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 like these fast beeps. And my skin felt hot and prickly. And I was like, oh, shit. But I just kind of powered through it. And yeah, I probably have like a fatigue, a little depression from that, but I'm not worried about it. And the funny thing is, I even think I said a weekish ago, maybe even 10 days ago, was around the 21-day mark. It sucked. That day sucked. And that's the day that led me to do, I did a sub that day, but I immediately jumped back on the wagon. And here's my advice on that. I would highly recommend don't do that. Because every time I have quit an opiate that, regardless of what it is going to take a month to get off of, like a month or two, I have always technically done that, where dispersed in between that 2 months, I will have little slide backs, but I always do it once and don't go back. I even remember when I quit kratom the first time in 2017, I had some hidden up in this like compartment in my wall, and I got it, and I took a shit ton of it. Like, I was used to taking little teaspoon amounts. And this is 2017 I'm talking about here. But I would take, swallow it back with whatever. And I did that once, and then I dumped it into a bucket and pissed on it, and then I flung it across my lawn. So most people will relapse, and then they'll start justifying it more and more and more. And I'll tell you what, I haven't done this thing perfectly, but every blip I've had, I have jumped immediately back. And if it comes to, because the other day when I made a video, I sounded depressed, and I was depressed that day. And I kind of ended it with like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I'm like, and I've said in just about every video, do I think I'm going to succeed? No. But here's the thing, is when you start waking up and going, holy crap, this is a bad day. How am I going to get through this day? And you somehow get through it by the skin of your teeth, then you do another one. And it's just as hard. Maybe it's harder. And then you have a good day. Yeah, like today's a good day. I feel good today. And then maybe you have some more bad days. But then you start going, you know what? I'm a boss. You're like, I just did 4 days. And then eventually you get to the point where your brain kind of refreshes itself. And yes, you got to learn to do life again. And me, I'll tell you what, I'm so sick of this bathrobe. I'm sick of wearing this bathrobe. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of sitting around. But that's all some days I run. Some days, people always say walk outside and get sunlight. I don't do it. Every day I don't do it. But sometimes I run. But my point is, is that no, you eventually start going, well, I'm doing this somehow, and days blend, and it's kind of like when you lose somebody. There will eventually come that day where you don't even think of them once, and that's the that's the human condition, pretty much. So I hope you guys are doing well. 1 month, and today's the first morning I actually felt pretty good. I'm excited, but I'm cautiously optimistic.